The Galactic Council was buzzing with excitement as representatives from various alien races gathered for the annual summit. This grand event was held in a colossal space station that floated majestically among the stars. The hall was filled with the chatter of alien delegates and the hum of advanced technology. This year's summit promised to be particularly thrilling, with many looking forward to the display of new technologies and advancements. In the midst of this bustling atmosphere, the human delegation prepared to showcase their latest achievement, the Dreadnought, a new class of warship designed to defend Earth and project power across the galaxy. The human representatives, including Admiral Sarah Thompson and her team of engineers, stood proudly beside the enormous holographic display of their ship. They were eager to present their creation to the assembled aliens. As the presentation began, the room fell silent. The humans unveiled the Dreadnought, a massive vessel with sleek lines and an impressive array of weaponry. It was a sight to behold, but not everyone was impressed. A group of alien delegates, known for their advanced technology and often condescending attitude, exchanged skeptical glances. These aliens, called the Creel, had a reputation for looking down on other species and their technological achievements. The Creel representative, a tall alien with shimmering green skin and a condescending smile, leaned toward his companions and whispered loudly enough for nearby delegates to hear, "Is this what Earth calls cutting-edge technology? It looks like a relic from a bygone era." His comment was met with snickers and murmurs of agreement from his fellow Creel. Admiral Thompson, standing near the Dreadnought's hologram, could hear the Creel's mocking remarks. She tried to ignore them and continued with her presentation, explaining the ship's features and capabilities. The Dreadnought was equipped with state-of-the-art energy shields, powerful ion cannons, and advanced targeting systems. However, as she spoke, the Creel continued to make derisive comments. "This must be a joke," another Creel delegate said loudly. "How can a ship like this stand up to our technology? It's like bringing a toy to a battle." The laughter that followed was loud and mocking, echoing through the hall. The other delegates, not wanting to appear out of touch, tried to stifle their own amusement. Some, however, looked on with curiosity, sensing that there was more to the Dreadnought than the Creel's dismissive attitude suggested. Undeterred, Admiral Thompson finished her presentation and invited the alien delegates to ask questions. The Creel representatives took the opportunity to heap more scorn on the human technology. They questioned the practicality of the Dreadnought's design and ridiculed its capabilities. One Creel delegate, a particularly large and imposing figure, stood up and said, "How do you expect this so-called warship to defend against a real threat? It looks like it would fall apart under the slightest pressure. Your technology is outdated and irrelevant." The room buzzed with agreement, and the human delegation felt the sting of the insults. Admiral Thompson's face remained calm, but her eyes betrayed her frustration. She knew that proving the Dreadnought's worth would be a challenge, especially with such a dismissive audience. As the Creel continued their mockery, the other delegates watched with interest. Some were intrigued by the human ship's design, while others were simply entertained by the spectacle. The atmosphere in the room shifted, with the Creel's taunts becoming the main focus of attention. Despite the derision, the human team remained determined. Admiral Thompson and her engineers knew that actions spoke louder than words. They were confident that their ship could prove its worth, but they had to wait for the right moment. The mocking laughter of the Creel echoed in their ears as the presentation ended. The human delegation left the hall with a mix of determination and frustration. They knew that the Dreadnought had the potential to impress, but they also understood that they would have to work hard to silence their critics. The Creel's laughter lingered in the air, but the humans were resolute. They were ready to show the galaxy that their Dreadnought was not just another piece of outdated technology, but a powerful and formidable force that deserved respect. The Galactic Council meeting was still buzzing from the earlier presentation. The Creel delegates, still reveling in their mockery of the human Dreadnought, continued to chat and laugh among themselves. Their laughter was like a sharp jab to Admiral Sarah Thompson and her team, who were determined to change the perception of their ship. Admiral Thompson, feeling the weight of the Creel's scorn, knew they had to act fast. She gathered her team in a quiet corner of the space station, away from the laughter and the sneering comments. Her face was set in a determined expression, and she spoke with a firm voice. "We've got to turn this around," she said. "We need to show them what the dreadnought can really do. We can't let their mocking stand without a proper response." One of her engineers, Lieutenant Mark Jensen, nodded in agreement. "But how? They're not going to believe anything we say after this. We need to do something more." Admiral Thompson's eyes lit up with a sudden idea. "Let's challenge them. We'll offer a live demonstration, a real test where they can see the dreadnought in action. If it proves itself, it will silence their doubts and show them what human technology is capable of." Lieutenant Jensen's eyes widened with excitement. "That's a great idea. We can set up a simulated battle scenario. It'll give them a chance to see the dreadnought's full capabilities." The team quickly got to work. They contacted the Galactic Council and requested an official challenge. The Creel, taken aback by the bold move, initially hesitated. They had been so confident in their mockery that they didn't expect the humans to fight back with such audacity. The Creel representative, the same one who had led the ridicule, was surprised but not deterred. "Very well," he said with a dismissive tone. "We accept your challenge. We will observe the demonstration, but don't expect us to be impressed by your primitive technology." The date for the demonstration was set, and preparations began immediately. The humans prepared their dreadnought for the test, ensuring that everything was in perfect working order. The simulation would take place in a designated area of space, carefully chosen to avoid any real danger but still provide a challenging environment. As the day of the demonstration approached, tension grew. The Creel and other alien delegates gathered in anticipation, eager to see the so-called weak human ship in action. The humans were focused and determined, knowing that this was their chance to prove their worth. On the day of the demonstration, the space was filled with excitement and curiosity. The Creel delegates watched from a safe distance, their faces a mixture of skepticism and boredom. They were eager to see the dreadnought fail, expecting the show to be nothing more than a disappointing display. Admiral Thompson and her team stood on the bridge of the dreadnought, ready for the test. The crew worked efficiently, running through final checks and ensuring that every system was operating at peak performance. The dreadnought was prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead. The simulation began with a series of challenging scenarios. The dreadnought was pitted against a fleet of simulated enemy ships designed to mimic the Creel's own advanced technology. The ship's systems were tested to their limits, and the crew executed maneuvers and tactics that had been carefully planned. As the battle unfolded, the Creel delegates watched with growing interest. The dreadnought demonstrated its advanced weaponry and defensive capabilities. The ship moved with precision, its weapons firing accurately and its shields holding strong against simulated attacks. The aliens, initially dismissive, began to take notice of the dreadnought's impressive performance. The challenge was more than just a show, it was a statement. The humans were determined to prove that their technology was not to be underestimated. The dreadnought's success in the simulation was a powerful demonstration of its capabilities. As the simulation came to a close, the Creel delegates were left in stunned silence. The dreadnought had performed exceptionally well, and the once confident aliens were now faced with the undeniable evidence of human technological prowess. The demonstration had achieved its goal. It had turned the tide and set the stage for a dramatic shift in perceptions. The day of the demonstration arrived, and the atmosphere in the Galactic Council space station was electric with anticipation. Alien delegates from various races had gathered to witness the live test of the human dreadnought. The Creel, known for their advanced technology and previous mockery of the ship, were eager to see it fail. Their arrogance was palpable, and their laughter from the earlier presentation had left a mark on Admiral Sarah Thompson and her team. In the control room of the dreadnought, Admiral Thompson and her crew were ready. They had spent hours preparing, double-checking every system and fine-tuning the ship's performance. The dreadnought was not just a machine. It was a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. The crew was determined to show that their ship was more than the Creel had given it credit for. As the simulation began, the dreadnought emerged from its dock and entered the designated area of space. The Creel representatives watched from a command center set up nearby, their eyes focused on the display screens that showed the dreadnought's every move. They were confident that the test would be a failure, but the humans were ready to prove them wrong. The simulation was designed to challenge the dreadnought with a series of complex scenarios. First, the ship faced a wave of simulated enemy fighters, designed to mimic the speed and agility of the Creel's own technology. The Dreadnought's advanced sensors and targeting systems were put to the test as it engaged the fast-moving targets. To the surprise of many, the Dreadnought handled the challenge with remarkable ease. Its weapon systems fired with precision, taking down enemy fighters with minimal effort. The ship's shields held strong against incoming fire, and its defensive systems intercepted any attempts to breach its armor. The Creel delegates, initially dismissive, began to murmur among themselves. Next came a more difficult test, a simulated fleet of larger enemy vessels, equipped with powerful weaponry and advanced tactics. The Dreadnought was expected to struggle against this more formidable opposition. The aliens leaned in, eager to see the human ship falter. However, the Dreadnought's performance continued to impress. It executed evasive maneuvers with agility and used its advanced targeting systems to strike at weak points on the enemy ships. The crew operated the vessel with skill and precision, showcasing the Dreadnought's tactical advantages. The simulated fleet was quickly reduced to debris, leaving the Creel delegates in stunned silence. The final test was the most challenging, a coordinated assault from multiple directions, designed to overwhelm the Dreadnought's defenses. The Creel had set up this scenario to ensure that the human ship would be pushed to its limits. The simulation began, and the Dreadnought faced a relentless barrage of attacks from all sides. Once again, the human ship proved its capabilities. The Dreadnought's energy shields absorbed the brunt of the attacks, while its weaponry retaliated with devastating effect. The crew worked seamlessly, adapting their strategies in real time and maintaining their composure under pressure. The Creel's expectations of failure were replaced by awe as they watched the Dreadnought withstand and overcome the onslaught. As the simulation ended, the Creel delegates were left speechless. The Dreadnought had not only met, but exceeded their expectations. The ship's performance had been a testament to human engineering and determination. The once dismissive Creel were forced to reconsider their views, and the other delegates looked on with newfound respect. Admiral Thompson and her crew, though exhausted, were elated. They had successfully demonstrated the true power of their ship and defended their honor against the mockery they had faced. The Dreadnought had proven itself to be a formidable force, capable of standing up to even the most advanced technology in the galaxy. The demonstration was over, but its impact would be felt for a long time. The Creel and other delegates had witnessed the power of the Dreadnought, and the humans had shown that they were not to be underestimated. The stage was set for a new chapter in their interactions with the galaxy, one where respect and recognition would be earned through action rather than words. The demonstration had set the stage for an unforgettable showdown. With the Creel delegates now fully aware of the Dreadnought's capabilities, the atmosphere was charged with tension. The challenge had shifted from a simple test to a live battle simulation that promised to be a real spectacle. The Dreadnought's true strength would be put to the ultimate test. The area of space designated for the simulation was a vast, empty sector surrounded by debris fields and asteroid clusters. It was chosen to provide both a realistic and challenging environment for the battle. The Creel and other alien delegates took their places in the observation areas, their eyes fixed on the holographic displays that showed the unfolding scene. Admiral Sarah Thompson stood on the bridge of the Dreadnought, her face set in a determined expression. Her crew, composed of some of the best officers and engineers from Earth, were ready for the simulation. The challenge was to face off against a fleet of simulated alien ships designed to mimic the advanced technology and tactics of the Creel. The simulation began with the appearance of the enemy fleet. Dozens of simulated Creel ships emerged from the far side of the sector, their powerful engines glowing ominously. The Dreadnought's sensors picked up the incoming threat, and the crew sprang into action. The ship's systems were activated, and the massive warship prepared for combat. The first wave of enemy ships approached quickly, their weapons firing in unison. The Dreadnought's shields flared as they absorbed the initial barrage. The crew worked efficiently, using the ship's advanced targeting systems to lock onto the enemy vessels. The Dreadnought's weapon systems fired back with precision, taking out several of the enemy ships in quick succession. The Creel delegates watched with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. They had expected the Dreadnought to struggle against the advanced simulation, but the human ship's performance was impressive. The Creel's confidence began to waver as they saw the Dreadnought's weaponry and defenses holding strong. As the battle progressed, the simulation introduced new challenges. The enemy fleet used advanced tactics, attempting to outmaneuver the dreadnought and overwhelm its defenses. The Creel ships fired missiles and energy blasts, while smaller fighters swarmed around the dreadnought, trying to exploit any weaknesses. The crew of the dreadnought responded with skill and precision. Admiral Thompson gave orders with calm authority, and the crew executed complex maneuvers to avoid incoming fire and position the ship advantageously. The dreadnought's weapons systems continued to deliver devastating strikes, and its shields held firm against the relentless assault. The turning point in the battle came when the simulation introduced a special challenge, a heavily armed command ship that coordinated the enemy fleet's attacks. This command ship was designed to be a formidable opponent, with powerful energy weapons and advanced defensive systems. The dreadnought would need to defeat it to win the simulation. The Creel delegates watched closely as the dreadnought engaged the command ship. The battle was intense, with the two ships exchanging powerful blows. The dreadnought's crew worked tirelessly, using their ship's advanced systems to target the command ship's weak points. The command ship's shields glowed brightly as it absorbed the dreadnought's attacks, but the human ship's persistence began to pay off. In a dramatic final assault, the dreadnought unleashed its most powerful weapon, a concentrated energy beam that cut through the command ship's defenses. The beam struck true, and the command ship's shields collapsed. With a final devastating blow, the command ship was destroyed and the remaining enemy fleet scattered. The simulation ended with the dreadnought victorious. The Creel delegates were left in stunned silence, unable to hide their astonishment. The human ship had not only survived but had dominated the battle, proving its superiority in a way that could not be ignored. Admiral Thompson and her crew celebrated their hard-earned victory. The demonstration had been a resounding success, showcasing the dreadnought's true power and the skill of the human crew. The Creel delegates, once filled with scorn, were now forced to acknowledge the strength and capability of the human ship. The battle had been a fight to remember, not just for its intensity and drama, but for the way it had reshaped perceptions. The dreadnought had proven itself as a formidable force, earning the respect and recognition of the galaxy. The aftermath of the battle simulation left the Galactic Council space station in a state of quiet reverence. The once skeptical Creel delegates, along with representatives from various alien races, were now grappling with the surprising performance of the human dreadnought. The dramatic display of strength and precision had shifted the atmosphere from one of mockery to one of genuine respect. Admiral Sarah Thompson stood on the bridge of the dreadnought, her face reflecting a mix of exhaustion and pride. Her crew, who had given their all during the intense simulation, were now resting and celebrating their hard-won victory. The ship had performed beyond their expectations, proving itself as a formidable force in the galaxy. In the observation area, the Creel delegates gathered in hushed conversation. The arrogant dismissiveness they had shown earlier had vanished, replaced by a reluctant admiration. The Creel representative, who had once led the mockery, now found himself struggling to find words that could adequately convey his newfound respect. "I never thought they had it in them," he said to a fellow delegate, his voice tinged with awe. "The dreadnought performed far beyond what we expected. Their technology is more advanced than we gave it credit for." Other delegates nodded in agreement. The performance of the dreadnought had not only impressed them, but had also challenged their previous assumptions about human capabilities. The simulation had showcased the ship's advanced weaponry, defensive systems, and the exceptional skill of its crew. Admiral Thompson and her team were called to a meeting with the Galactic Council. The council chamber, usually a place of formal discussions and deliberations, was filled with a new sense of respect. The council members, who had once been skeptical of humanity's technological prowess, now looked at the humans with a new perspective. The council's leader, an imposing figure known for his stern demeanor, addressed Admiral Thompson with an air of newfound respect. "Admiral Thompson, your ship has demonstrated extraordinary capabilities. The dreadnought's performance in the simulation has far exceeded our expectations." Admiral Thompson nodded, acknowledging the compliment. "Thank you. We are proud of what we've achieved. The dreadnought is a symbol of our technological progress and our commitment to excellence." The council members discussed the implications of the demonstration. The dreadnought's success had opened new possibilities for cooperation and interaction between humanity and the galaxy's various races. The once dismissed humans were now seen as serious players on the galactic stage. The Creel representative, who had been the most vocal in his skepticism, approached Admiral Thompson. His demeanor was humble, a stark contrast to his earlier arrogance. "Admiral, I must apologize for the earlier mockery. The performance of your ship was impressive, and I now see that humanity's technological advancements are to be taken seriously." Admiral Thompson smiled warmly. "Apology accepted. We're glad to have had the opportunity to show what we're capable of. We hope this can be the start of a new chapter in our interactions." The respect earned by the dreadnought extended beyond the immediate results of the simulation. The other delegates were eager to learn more about human technology and engage in discussions about potential collaborations. The demonstration had not only proven the dreadnought's strength, but had also opened doors for future alliances and partnerships. As the council meeting concluded, Admiral Thompson and her crew were celebrated for their achievements. The once ridiculed dreadnought had become a symbol of human resilience and innovation. The respect and recognition gained were not just for the ship, but for the spirit of humanity as a whole. The Galactic Council's newfound respect for humanity marked a significant turning point. The humans had shown that they were not to be underestimated and had earned their place among the galaxy's most respected and capable races. The dreadnought's victory had changed perceptions and set the stage for a future where humanity's contributions to the galaxy would be acknowledged and valued. Admiral Thompson and her crew left the council chamber with a sense of accomplishment. The journey from mockery to respect had been a challenging one, but it had proven that determination, skill, and technological prowess could overcome even the most skeptical of expectations. The dreadnought had earned its place in history, and humanity's role in the galaxy had been firmly established.